In this video, we are going to see the second part of the experiment, which is FM spectrum analysis. Again, the FM signal whose spectrum we are going to see on spectrum analyzer, we are going to generate it by the function generator. So depending on the values that we give in function generator generates FM signal which is of this kind. So if we try to relate this equation with our FM equation which we have done in class, is SFMT. This is AC cos of omega CT plus K. This is K omega. This is M alpha D alpha, where MT is our message signal. This is our message signal. K omega, we call it frequency sensitivity. Its unit is radian per volt. AC is our carrier amplitude. Since we are doing the FM spectrum analysis for tone signal, so the message signal is of this kind, which is AM cos omega MT. So if you integrate this, so you get something AM upon omega M sine of omega M T. So the equation becomes SFMT equal to AC. This is cos, this is omega CT, plus this is going to be K omega AM upon omega M, and this is our sine of omega M T. If you see this quantity, this is this quantity. So this quantity is what? K omega. This you can write as Kf into 2 pi AM, and this is what? Omega M is 2 pi FM. If you see, this K omega is equal to this value, and this Kf is the frequency sensitivity again. Unit is what? Hertz per volt. So this 2 pi and 2 pi get cancelled, and you get the equation of Kf AM upon FM. This Kf AM, we call it del F. This is the frequency deviation that you can see in the equation here. So this is nothing but D. So this is our the usual we do in the class, and this is the equation which is implemented in the function generator. One more change is there. Since we have taken cos, and message also we have taken cos, for carrier also we have taken cos, here it has written in sine and message is sine. So after integration it becomes cos in this equation. One more change that we can see here is we take AC there, and this is half scaling factor is included in this equation. So as our convenience, it is AC in our general case, that is that we study in the class. AC equal to A by 2. So let's do the theoretical analysis of this equation. So we have rewritten the equation. So this is the equation that we have seen in the first slide. So this was the equation that I have written here again. So this is a by 2 sine 2 by fct. D, this is nothing but del f, and its unit is hertz, cos 2 pi fmt. So since this is a tone modulation, so there is a derivation given in BPLRT that how to get this equation from this equation. So after doing calculations, after doing mathematical calculations, we can get this equation from this equation. So this is the derivation which is given in BPLRT, our communication book. Communication system. So if you see this equation has reduced it to this form, and this we are going to do the analysis for this equation. So this is basically what this is: summation A G and beta half. It is AC only. This A by 2 is AC in our book. This is A by 2 J and beta sine omega c plus n omega m t, where beta we call it modulation index. This is modulation index for FM signal. This is also called deviation ratio, and this beta is nothing but D by FM, which is nothing but del F upon FM. So by changing del F or by changing FM, we can change beta. So if beta is very, very smaller than 1, we call this as narrowband FM, and if beta is greater than 1, then we call it what? Wideband FM. So this is the equation that we are going to concentrate. This is summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity A by 2 J and beta sine omega c plus n omega and t. If you expand this, we can have this form. When you place n equal to minus 2, this becomes j minus 2 of beta and omega c sine omega c, and this is n equal to minus 2, so omega c minus 2 omega m t. When you place n equal to minus 1, you get this j minus 1 beta sine omega c minus omega m t. When you place n equal to 0, you get this equation. This term is n equal to minus 2, this term is n equal to minus 1, this term is n equal to 0, and this is n equal to 1, and this is n equal to 2, and we can get the various terms in this equation. If you carefully look at this equation, what we can see is this is the signal which is present at the frequency fc minus 2 fm, and this is the term which is nothing but fc minus fm. This is the term which is present at fc, and this is fc plus fm, and this value is fc plus 2 fm, and so on. So this term, if you see, this is the original carrier term which is unmodulated term. So this is my original carrier, which is whose amplitude is how much? A0 beta by 2 now. Before it was A by 2. Now if you see this, we have number of side bands on either side of carrier term. So If you see this, this is located at minus 2 FM. So this is, if you start from here, this is this term and this term. This is my first lower sideband and first upper sideband. If you compare this with AM equation, we get only one lower sideband and one upper sideband depending on the value of message frequency if it is a single tone modulation. If you see this and this is my second lower sideband and second upper sideband. So this is the basic equations that we have to observe. So from this, if you see the power spectrum is nothing but the power versus frequency curve again. So we have impulses at Fc. So I have impulse at Fc, then we get impulse at Fc plus Fm. So this is Fc plus Fm. Then we have Fc minus Fm. This is my first lower sideband. This is Fc minus Fm. If you see this one, this is Fc plus 2 Fm. This is Fc plus 3 Fm. This is Fc plus 4 Fm, and so on. Here also we have the same thing. This is Fc minus 2 Fm. We have the impulse at Fc minus 3 Fm, and we have impulse at Fc minus 4 Fm, and so on. So now you can see from this graph that we have infinite number of sidebands. So the theoretical bandwidth, if you say, it is theoretical bandwidth is infinite, which is 2 FM in case of AM. So this is the bandwidth that we have seen, that in AM that is twice of FM. So if you see the amplitude of power of component at Fc plus Fm, Fc minus Fm, so this is very easy to calculate again, that we have already done in AM. So if you want to calculate the power in this term, so this is my amplitude. So if this is amplitude, so if you want to calculate the power in this term, it is going to be, since this is the second sideband, second lower sideband, so I can write is LSB2, and this is equal to amplitude, that is minus beta divided by 2, and we have to divide it by root 2 to get RMS value, and we have to square it and divide it by resistance R, and this R is nothing but 50 ohm as in case of AM. If you find out the power in this sideband, this is going to be PLSB1, which is equal to what? A j minus 1 of beta divided by 2, and to make it RMS value again to this, so RMS square upon R. This is the first lower sideband power. If you see this term, the power in this is our carrier power, which is nothing but A J0 beta divided by 2 into 1 upon root 2. This is RMS, so this is going to be square upon R, and this is PUSB1, that is A J1 beta divided by 2 1 upon root 2 square upon R. This term is PUSB2 A J2 beta upon 2 1 upon root 2 square upon R. So the question, the power, so these are the powers we can write here also. This is PC, so this is my PC, this is USB1, this is my P USB 2, this is P USB 3, this is P USB 4, and so on. If you see this equation, this is P LSB 1, this is P LSB 2, this is P LSB 3, and so on. So these are the power associated with this sideband and the carrier term. So the question which may arise here is JN beta. What is JN beta? So this is called Bessel's function. It is called Bessel's function. So the Bessel's function is nothing but Jn beta, which is given by the equation 1 upon 2 pi minus pi to pi e power j beta sine x minus nx dx. This integration cannot be solved in closed form. This integration we cannot solve in closed form. So depending on the value of beta, we can calculate J and beta for different n values. Here n is integer values. This is the table for Jn beta. If you see on this first column, this is nothing but the modulation index and it is nothing but the beta values. So there are various beta values. If you see this term, since J0 beta, this is the term which is associated with Fc. So this is my J0 beta. This value is J0 beta. If you see this one, this is J1 beta, and so on. So these are the values of n. So these are the values of n. And if you want to read this table, if you suppose you have selected your beta values 2. So this is my beta, which is 2. For this, J0 beta is 0.22, J1 beta is 0.58, J2 beta is 0.35, and so on. So if you see this J and beta, the table, so we can write number of properties associated with this J and beta. So I am writing some important properties of this J and beta. The first one is J and beta, it is always a real value. It is always a real value. Though this equation contains this complex exponential, but the J and beta, it comes out a real value. It is always a real value. Second important property is, if you find out minus n term, so this is equal to minus 1 power n J and beta. What it says actually, when you take J minus 2, I have taken n equal to minus 2, so this is equal to minus 1 power 2, and this is J2 beta. So this is equal to what? J2 beta and J minus 2 beta, they are equal. If you take odd term like n minus 1, so this is equal to J minus 1 beta, which is equal to what? Minus J1 beta. So for odd term, they are negative of each other, and for even n, they are same. They have the same amplitude value. So this is the second property. This is the first one. This is the second one. The third property, what it says is, in general, in general, when you increase n, j and beta, it tends to decrease. So after a certain values of n, j and beta is very much negligible. So this you can see from the table also. For 0.25 you can see this one, only j0 beta and j1 beta are, they exist, and other terms are there negligible. So we have not written those values here. So this is important property, but this does not say that when j2 beta is, it does not say that j2 beta is less than j1 beta. It may not be, but in general, as a thumb rule, that when you increase n, values of n increases, j and beta is negligible. What I mean by this statement, you can see from this, if you see this beta equal to 3 value, if you see this one, the carrier is of magnitude 0.26. If you see this j1 beta, it is 0.34, and j2 beta is bigger than this value. But as a thumb rule, when you increase n, it goes to 0. So this is an important property, but it can be misleading. So we can see it also that j minus 1 beta, magnitude of this value is equal to j1 beta. So magnitude are same, but they are negative of each other. So by learning this j and beta, now we can see this spectrum again. So this is the spectrum that we have derived. If you see this one, we have plotted this spectrum for beta equal to 3. So we can also verify it from the table also, that this is, if you want to read this value, this is 3. So if you see this is j0 beta, so this is j0 beta, then j1 beta is 0.34, which is greater than this 0.26, then and so on. So the power also gets increased by increasing this beta values, and they have this kind of shape when you look at the spectrum. So let us take some cases so that we can verify our theoretical values with the practical values. So for the first case, this is d deviation, which is nothing but del f. Let's take it as 5 kilohertz, and let's select our message frequency 5 kilohertz. So this is not only 5 kilohertz, but this is, we are going to take different values of FM. So this is 5 kilohertz. So as we know that beta is nothing but del f upon FM. So 5, and this is 5, so the beta value is 1.0 for this case. For the second case, let's take this value as 2.5 kilohertz, and FM we can take 2.5 kilohertz. So we have reduced this del f and FM, but we make the beta same because this is del f upon FM. So this is the second case that we are going to see. For the third case, let's take this value as 2.41 kilohertz, and let's take FM 1 kilohertz. So if you see this one, the value is going to be, beta value is going to be del f upon FM, so it is going to be 2.41 kilohertz. So in this first two cases, we have made our beta constant, but we have tried to increase, we have changed the FM and del f. Okay, so to calculate the various powers at different frequency levels, we have to use the table and our derived formulas. So if you see this one, PC is given by AC J0 beta by 2 1 upon root 2 square upon R. So R is 50 ohm in this case, and the beta is our 1 for this case, and A we have set it to 2 volt. So this is 2 volt, and to know this is going to be A J0, this is A, this is 2 upon 2, that is going to be 1, this is J0, beta is 1, so this is J01. So we have to read this value from the table. So let us see where is beta equal to 1. So this is my beta equal to 1. So we have to read this first value, that is J01. So this value is J01. This is 0.77. So if this value is 0.77. So after doing the calculation, the carrier power is going to be approximately 5.929. Here it is 5.929. This is milliwatt. If you see the PLSB1 and PUSB1, since they are same, because we have learned it from the Bessel's function properties. So LSB1, J-1 beta and J1 beta, they are magnitude wise they are same, so they are going to be equal in value. So if you see this one, to calculate this LSB1 or USB1 equivalently, this is beta, that is equal to 1, and same here also 1, this is A2, and this is also A is 2. So we have to read J-1 of 1 from the table. If you see this from the table, this is my J1 beta. J1 and beta is what? 1 there. So it is how much? 0.44. So this value is 0.44. So again when we calculate this power, we get 1.936 milliwatt. So this is the power associated with the first sideband. Similarly, we can calculate the sorry, I have written this value there. This should not be there. This should be 1.936 milliwatt. Now, if you see the lower sideband, again we have to do the same calculation. We have to use J2 beta, and beta is 1 there. So to read the table from here, again this is my J2 of beta 1. So this is my 0.11. Again we have to use the same thing. This is my second upper sideband, this is my second lower sideband. So again after plugging these values for J2 beta, that is J21, that is equal to how much? 0.11. We can calculate the values of PLSB2, and this is 0.121 milliwatt. So this is basically second lower sideband is 0.121 milliwatt, and first lower sideband is, or equivalently first or your upper sideband is 1.936 milliwatt. Similarly, we can calculate third, fourth and fifth. So from the table we can read it from there, and this value is, the third one is 4 microwatt. So we can see here that the power is getting negligible and negligible as we move on third, fourth or fifth sidebands. So it is not there in table, and we can neglect them, those values. So these values are approximately 0. So now let us take the second case, and in second case our del F is 2.5, FM is 2.5, so beta is 1. So again For beta equal to 1, we have to read the same row, which is 0.77, 0.44, 0.11 and 0.02. So these values are same. So this power must have to be same. So this is 5.929 milliwatt. 5.29 milliwatt. Okay, so the second is, it is also going to be the same, because we have not changed our beta there. And in the third case also is going to be 0.121 milliwatt, and this is going to be 4 microwatt. So from this we can see this one, by changing beta, power does not change. This is going to be negligible. If you see the third case, this is 2.41 kilohertz, 1 kilohertz. FM is 1 kilohertz, del F is 2.41, beta is 2.41. This is 2.41. So we have to read the table for beta equal to 2.41. So this is the beta where it is 2.41. If you see this one, here carrier term is 0. So J0 beta is 0 there. So the power associated with the carrier, discrete component of carrier, it is 0. So there is no power wastage in transmitting the carrier. So this is very important beta value, one of the important beta values. So there are some other values of beta for which carrier term is 0, like here 5.53, 8.65. If you select this beta values, so here carrier term is 0. So there are special values of beta for which carrier term is not present. So if you calculate this power, you have to read this table. This table is up to this point, up to 5th sideband. So again we can calculate this power by using this table and the formula that we have derived earlier. So by using this formulas, we can calculate the sideband power and the carrier power. Carrier power is 0 in this case. So the values are 0. The first is no power wastage in this one, so 0 watt. Second is, this is approximately 2.704 milliwatt. In the second lower side band or second upper side band, the power is 1.849 milliwatt, and this is going to be 0.4 milliwatt. Third is the fourth side band is going to be 360 micro, and it is very much negligible. This is 4 microwatt. So these are the calculated values which we have to see on the spectrum analyzer. If you see this 3 cases, here we have not changed our beta, so the power terms are same. But if you see the spectrum, the separation between the two impulses is FM. So accordingly, if you change FM, in the second case we have changed FM, so accordingly the separation between the impulses is going to increase or decrease. So that we can see in the spectrum analyzer. Second important thing is that the power remains the same, that we can see from this one. In the third case, we have increased our beta values. So we have increased our beta values there. So for this beta, we can see the number of significant sidebands, they are going to be increased. By number of significant sideband, I mean that the power is negligible after here the power is negligible after this sidebands, but here power goes up to these values. So generally we take 95% of the total power if the sideband contains, so we count that as a significant sideband. So as I said, theoretical bandwidth is infinite, but practically this bandwidth is finite. Practically this is the bandwidth is finite, and to calculate this bandwidth we have Carson rule for finding the bandwidth. We call it what? Carson rule for finding the bandwidth. So what it says that number of significant sidebands is equal to 2 times beta plus 1. This is the total number of significant sideband on either side of this FC. So beta plus 1 significant sideband on this side, beta plus 1 significant sideband on this side. So these are the number of significant sidebands, and these sidebands are separated by frequency FM. So the bandwidth is going to be the number of significant sideband into FM. So this is the Carson rule bandwidth formula to find the practical bandwidth. So this is our setup, and we are going to generate FM signal from this. So these values I have already given there. So this is my first case where del F is 5 kilohertz and FM is 5 kilohertz. So we can see this one. This is 5 kilohertz message frequency, and deviation is 5 kilohertz. A is 2 volt peak to peak that we have set there, and the carrier frequency is 400 kilohertz. So if you see the spectrum, so we can see this spectrum there. So this is my carrier term, which is present at 400 kilohertz, whose power is approximately 5.59 microwatt. This is 5.61 milliwatt, and this value is 5.929 in our theoretical values. Thus, if you see the first significant sideband, which is at 405 kilohertz, because the separation is FM. So we can see the two impulses are separated by 5 kilohertz, that is message frequency, and the power associated with this is 1.86 milliwatt, and this is the theoretical value, which is 1.936 milliwatt. And similarly we have the third, where it is 121 micro, and here we can see this is 127 microwatt. So this is the this is the third sideband, significant sideband, which is the values of 3.60 microwatt, and in our case it is 4 microwatt. As you go on that one, this is very much negligible. So these are the lower sideband. You can see this is also 1.83 approximately milliwatt, which was the previous value at the USB 1. This is LSB 2. This is second lower sideband. So this value is nearly 126. Earlier it was also 126 microwatt on this side also. So this is for the case 1. So this is the we are going to see the second case, and in the second case we are taking del F, that is equal to 2.5 kilohertz, FM is 2.5 kilohertz, so beta is 1, which was the previous case only, beta equal to 1 there. Here it is also beta equal to 1, and the theoretical calculated value is, carrier term is 5.929 milliwatt, second is 1.936 milliwatt, then nearly 121 micro, and this is going to be 4 micro. These powers are the same as these powers, so we are going to verify this, are they same or not. So let us see that. So if you take the marker and take the reading of carrier, so this is the FM for the second case, we have taken this 2.5 kilohertz FM frequency, and the deviation we have taken 2.5 kilohertz, so that beta equal to 1 there. Okay, if you see the spectrum there, this is the spectrum at impulse at carrier, which is approximately 5.52 milliwatt, and earlier also it is nearly 5.60. Earlier it was 5.60. It is showing some values that is nearly 5.52 to 5.60. The first upper sideband, which is at FC plus FM. Now you can see this one. This is nearly 2.6 kilohertz. Since we have taken FM, how much? 2.5 kilohertz there. This is 2.5 kilohertz that we have taken FM there. So the separation is now reduced. So this is 402.6, nearly 2.5 kilohertz FM. We can see from this spectrum. Second, that power associated is 1.76 milliwatt, and earlier also it was nearly 86 milliwatt. So the power is not changing very much. If you see the second upper sideband, this is going to be 405 because it will be 2.5 plus 2.5 kilohertz. The message signal is, so separation is from here to here, it is 5 kilohertz, 2 FM that is. So the power associated with this sideband is 125 microwatt, and earlier it was 126 microwatt. So like this you can verify the other sidebands. And the bandwidth, if you see this one, we can take up to this also, we can take this also, but this is very small value, that is nearly 50 nanowatts. So we can neglect this sidebands and we can take this, we can keep one carrier there, one marker there, sorry. This is the first marker we can take, and the second marker we can also keep it. This is the first. Now let us look at the third case. What is the third case? Third case is del F, which is 2.41 kilohertz, FM is 1 kilohertz, where beta is going to be 2.41. So we have to set these values in function generator. So we have taken F message frequency 1 kilohertz and the deviation 2.41 kilohertz. So beta value is 2.4. If you see the spectrum, as we said earlier, that one for special values of beta, we get carrier term 0. So this is the first special value of that. So if you see this one, this is the carrier term which is present at 4 kilohertz, and this value is nearly 80 nanowatt, which is very much low as compared to the other values. So this can be treated as 0 value. So this is the carrier which is 0 for this beta equal to 2.41. So if you see the first sideband, it is approximately 2.52 milliwatt, and the theoretical calculated value is 2.704 milliwatt. It is now approximately 6 milliwatt. If you see the second upper sideband, it is approximately 1.8 milliwatt, and in our case the value which we have calculated is 1.849 milliwatt. So like this we can verify the third one. This is 380 microwatt, and in our case this is 0.4 milli, that is nothing but 400 microwatt. And like this we can measure the this sideband strength also. So if you see this is the spectrum for the third case. And if you want to measure the bandwidth, which I have not mentioned in the previous cases, so if you see this one, we can consider up to significant sideband, that is nearly 40, that is up to 5th sidebands. So this is first one, that is 401 kilohertz, this is 402 kilohertz, this is 403 kilohertz, this is 404, this is 405. And if you see this one, this is nearly 100 nanowatt. So what we say is, by Carson rule, this if you calculate the if you find out this power versus the total power, this is less than the 5% of the total power. So we can neglect this side bands and we can take the impulse from there, and we can measure this value is 40, nearly 4.98, which is nothing but 405 kilohertz. Same here also, you will see this 400 minus, this is 400 minus 5 kilohertz, that's nothing but 395 kilohertz. So the lower component of the frequency is 395 kilohertz, and the highest frequency is nearly 405 kilohertz. So according to this, the bandwidth is approximately nearly 10 kilohertz. So this is the experiment that we have performed. So now we have theoretical and practical both values with us. Now we can compare this result and we can conclude the experiment. If you see this one, as we change our beta values, so if you increase beta, so it increases the number of sideband, it increases the number of sidebands, so hence it increases the bandwidth. So bandwidth is nothing but 2 beta plus 1 FM. Second thing is that by increasing beta values for some special values of beta like 2.41, 5.5 5.3 and 8.65 and so on, the PC carrier power is 0. So there is no wastage in transmitting the carrier. So if you want to see the efficiency of the FM, is going to be 100% for this case, for this special cases. The one more thing that we could not see here is that one, the total power is equal to the carrier power before modulation, which is AC square by 2R, and in our equation, since AC is how much? A by 2. So for this case, this is going to be, since we have taken A equal to 2 volts, so it must be 1 divided by 2 into 50 watt. So this is the total power that is going to be the power of your FM signal. So you can add them up to get the power. Since we have neglected some terms, so it is going to come approximately, but these powers are not going to exceed from this theoretical limit values. Theoretical limit value of this power. This is the power of FM signal. So if you compare the AM and FM both, so here we can see the AM that we have made the conclusion. This was a modulation index for AM, which changes the sideband power but does not change the carrier power. But if you see here, for different values of beta, that is modulation index for FM, we can see the carrier power is changing. So by changing these values, or by setting these values of beta, we can make our carrier power 0. But here it is not the case. And the regarding this message frequency, the message frequency does not contribute anything to the power. It just changes the bandwidth. But if you see here, by changing FM, beta is going to change. So, and when beta is changing, the powers in sidebands, they varies, though the total power remains the same till the carrier amplitude before carrier amplitude we make it constant. So this is the comparison of this AM and FM spectrums. So thank you for watching this video.